So, you've done it. You've built this amazing, super complex AI model. The tech is just incredible. But now what? How do you actually sell it? How do you convince an executive who thinks in terms of ROI and not model accuracy to sign on the dotted line?
Yeah, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because honestly, without a clear answer to that, even the most powerful technology on the planet can get stuck in the lab. A brilliant solution just searching for a problem. All right, so let's tackle this head on. The way we're going to frame our strategy is by thinking of it as building a bridge. On one side, you have the deep, complex tech of your AI product. And on the other, you have what an executive actually understands and cares about: business value, strategic outcomes, and financial impact. Our job is to build that bridge.
And any good bridge, it needs a rock-solid foundation. For us, that foundation is all about understanding why selling AI is just fundamentally different from selling regular software. This isn't just another feature, it's a whole new kind of product with its own unique economics.
Okay, so it really all boils down to the basic economics of AI, right? You've got two big phases, training and inference. Training is that massive, one-time upfront cost to build the model's brain. But here's the thing your customer is actually paying for. That's the inference part. That's the model doing real work, one query at a time. And the cost and speed of that inference, that's what's going to make or break your whole business case.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, and where the strategy really kicks in. Think of these three things: cost, latency, and throughput as being in a constant tug-of-war. You just can't have it all. Want a lightning-fast response? Well, that's probably going to cost you more per query. Need to handle thousands of users all at once? Your latency might start to creep up. Your entire go-to-market strategy hinges on proving that the specific trade-offs you made are the perfect ones to solve your customer's problem.
Okay, so we've poured the foundation, we get the tech side, now it's time to pull out the blueprints. This is where we architect the go-to-market strategy, the actual structure that will become our value bridge.
All right, because when you're selling to a big enterprise, you can't just show up with a cool demo and call it a day. A commercial release, that's a promise. It's a guarantee of support, of performance, of reliability, and it's all backed by things called service-level agreements, or SLAs. For a buyer who's managing millions in operational risk, that's everything. It's totally non-negotiable. A killer launch doesn't just happen by magic. It's a carefully engineered plan, top to bottom. Every single piece of this, from that snappy one-paragraph value prop that grabs an executive's attention, all the way down to the readiness checklist that finally gets the legal team's sign-off, it all has to be perfectly aligned. This whole plan, this is the engine that takes a cool piece of tech and turns it into a real money-making business.
And listen, if you remember one thing, make it this. This right here is the golden rule. It's the absolute heart of the entire strategy. You have to stop talking like an engineer and start talking like a business partner. Your internal metrics, like benchmarks and accuracy scores, they're critical for development, sure, but they mean almost nothing to an executive. The real magic happens when you translate "we're 10% more accurate" into a customer outcome they can take to the bank, like you'll see a 50% reduction in time to insight. All right, foundation's poured, blueprints are drawn. Now comes the most critical part of the whole journey, actually crossing that bridge. This is where we have to consciously leave the technical jargon on one side of the canyon and start speaking the language of business outcomes, risk reduction, and of course, return on investment.
And here is a perfect example of what that translation looks like in the real world. We don't just lead with, "our model has 95% accuracy." No way. We immediately pivot to what that actually means for their business. It means a 40% drop in manual review time. It means their auditors can work twice as fast. You see, you're not just selling a feature anymore. You're selling efficiency. You're selling a better bottom line. That's the kind of talk that makes an executive lean in.
And you have to remember, you're basically selling to two completely different people at the same time. The developer, the technical user. They just want to see if they can get a Hello World example up and running. They care about latency, error rates, stuff like that. But the executive, they're thinking about the total cost of ownership, the TCO. What's this thing really going to cost us over the next 5 years? They care about reducing risk and solving a huge strategic business problem. You need a powerful, compelling story for both of them.
Look, in any big enterprise deal, you are going to get hit with objections. It's a guarantee. The key isn't just having a clever answer, it's having the proof to back it up. So when the CFO starts getting skeptical about the ROI, you don't just push back. You slide a detailed case study across the table with hard numbers from a customer just like them. When their legal team raises a red flag about risk, you hand over the full security and compliance docs. Every single one of these artifacts builds trust and just makes it that much easier for them to say yes.
So it makes you wonder, right? Who's the master architect here? Who's the person actually responsible for building this entire value bridge, for connecting that engineering world to the business world? Well, that would be the product marketing manager, or PMM for short. I love this analogy. It's such a simple and honestly perfect way to think about the difference between these two roles. The product manager, the PM, works with engineering to build the product, to get it on the shelf. But the product marketing manager, the PMM, their job is to make sure customers actually understand its value, want it, and ultimately pick it off the shelf. They own the story, the whole story the market hears.
So yeah, the AI PMM is basically the conductor of the orchestra. They're at the center of everything, running the entire launch, defining how the product is positioned in the market, arming the sales team with all the ammo they need, and keeping an eye on the competition. They're the strategic hub, making sure the entire company tells one single, consistent, and powerful story.
When you boil it all down, that's their job. They're the strategic interpreter. They're the ones standing right in the middle of our bridge, taking all that amazing engineering innovation and translating it into something the market gets excited about, real market momentum.
Okay, so if there's just one big idea you walk away with from this whole explainer, it should be this. You are not selling models. You're not selling APIs or cool tech features. You are selling business transformation. A winning go-to-market strategy for enterprise AI is all about relentlessly, obsessively building that bridge from what the technology can do to the quantifiable business transformation it can deliver.
Because once you really get this, once you master the art of building that bridge from code to cash, you've basically created a powerful, repeatable blueprint for innovation. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build next?